Please tell me I already have it out. Please tell me I already have it out. Where is it?
No way.
What rigs?
Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom.
So yeah, that was me realizing I lost my phone, and this is actually where I lose my phone. And this was the first time I ever went on any kind of like recorded travel adventure, where I kind of unknowingly captured all the drama unfolding on camera. Like here is actually where I lost the phone. It should be sitting there on my top case, but when I let it go in the berm, it disappeared, which you see in a previous episode. I'll leave in a link. And actually, kind of it touches on, I guess, or something like that, in a little music video thing I did as well.
I took that one last time. Maybe done and done.
So on this recorded adventure, I'm going to edit, I guess, things a little bit differently. My dad and I were out recently, and he fancies himself as kind of like this YouTube aficionado. He's a fan of many people, especially a lot of travel stuff. And he thinks that some of my edits should be a little longer. And I don't disagree with him. It's just usually I kind of go a little bit faster pace because, well, I get bored and people get bored. So I kind of slap it a little bit faster. So this one I'm actually going to do in a slightly different style just because it's something fun to do and kind of for my pops. So things are going to run a little bit longer, and I'm probably going to run out of things to talk about. So with that being said, we'll talk a little bit more about, I guess, like kind of my editing style, I guess, or how I like to do things. One of the things, as you probably noticed, is that I do narration instead of talking to the camera. I do this for a few reasons. A, I find it's oddly more watching someone's life when it's narrated and it's happening versus me interacting with people while it's happening. Even though it kind of reduces the kind of connection that I'd have with viewers as if you guys were actually there with me, instead of me doing these things solo. But I think it gives a more sense of what it's really like in a sense. And then it's, you know, kind of more voyeuristic, and then the narration I can help kind of fill in the blanks instead of just watching this lonely little weirdo riding around in the woods or whatever I may be doing. This area, I'm kind of getting back to the actual footage here, was weird because there was like a shelf of just the softest, horriblest mud right here. It was almost like quicksand that I had to fight through at the end. And yeah, it was a whole thing. And actually, going back to what I was talking about before about editing and whatnot, though here you'll notice my ABS light is blinking. That's what the orange thing is. I have yet to notice it in the actual real time of things.
Really?
Is I don't like talking to the camera. It's distracting for me when I'm doing other things, and especially when I'm doing stuff that I have to focus on, or I'm thinking, you know, it's just hard for me to also adjust the camera and communicate and think about what I'm going to talk about, as well as engage whatever I'm doing. And again, I could probably tell the camera these things as I'm doing it. It's just I find it weird. Not like it's weird to talk to yourself. I do it all the time. But it's just weird when I'm trying to address someone like they're there, but they're not there while doing something. And either which way, that's why I do the narration. One of the bigger reasons. And I guess while on the subject of narration, as you could probably tell, it's not scripted. I will kind of go back and forth a few times and like edit it in a sense where like I'll go to a certain point and then realize I start to get like, you know, fumbly or whatever. And then I'll stop it and then I'll make a note of where it was and then kind of pick it up again. And this is that new camera mount that I have, which I kind of like, but as you can see, it's having some issues. I kind of like it when they have accidental movement with camera mounts, but when it gets to this point, it's very artistic, but it's also pretty useless. And I had about like 12 or so minutes of this footage of just trees zipping by. So now I have no more B-roll to edit. It's just going to be the main POV cam, which is really the bread and butter version. So another thing I think I'm slipping in here, and I'm still debating as I'm actually narrating this, once again showing you how prepared I am, is some background music, score music kind of thing. I'm not really sure, because there's going to be some big gaps and some longer runs like right now. So I think right now I'm going to add some music.
There's a lot of grid and shit.
Oh hey look, my LED is light. The best way to fix anything is to turn it off, turn it back on again. It should work just fine. I'm actually pretty lucky because even with all the sand and grit and everything that I put the little Honda through, when I came back, I had about 2 or 3 days of that weird grindy sound. And I went to the it's like a pay and spray power washer and did what I could. But after, like I said, about 2 or 3 days, all the sound was gone. That same day, the light was fine. And it was honky-dory, like nothing ever happened. So, once again, yay Hondas. This little guy, it might not always be the fastest and most efficient way through the woods. Well, it is very efficient because it's like insane on gas mileage. But it'll definitely get you where you want to go. And that's when I realized that my GoPro had decided to look up to the sky. You can't tell I'm a little peeved off about it. A little upset. It's not just that, the GoPros in general, I don't know if it's the humidity today, were acting kind of weird, and there was a couple times that they were shutting off, and even in edits in the future, I have like mainly one cam shooting for a while, because the other cam footage just not there anymore. So, as much as GoPros are great, they also will let you down time and time again. Like, come to think of it, I think actually here I don't have my helmet cam on, or I thought I did after this, which is why I actually, one of the things I did cut out was me getting violently angry at the GoPro and just flipping it off like it has some kind of, you know, emotion about things. But I spared you that ugliness, and instead you can see the ugliness of me fighting through this sand. Again, another spot where there's maybe some background music. Something coming in. I don't know yet. And I'm also kind of running the narration of this just from start to finish. I mentioned earlier that sometimes I'll stop, but I still might. I'm about halfway through-ish. And it's not great. It's not bad though. It's okay. And you may notice that sometimes I interchange what I call the Honda, and why a lot of times I'll reference it as the Honda or the 125, because it's not technically a scooter. Here in the States, people would reference it as a scooter, but it's really not. It has a cut frame, but it's not really a full-on platform. You actually still stand on pegs, and it's chain-driven, unlike most scooters that I'm aware of here, are belt-driven, and they don't have any kind of gearing whatsoever. It's just centrifugal clutch. I mean, no, not centrifugal clutch. It's V-belt transmission. There you go. Something like that. I'm sure someone will correct me. But so it's technically more of a motorcycle, and throughout most of the world they would call it an underbone, which is kind of weird. And there, I don't know if you noticed, I was actually kind of surfing on one peg trying to balance through the sand, and I almost kind of made it. It was a lot of fun, but yeah, it was a thing. So the road's more gravelly and whatnot, because I'm actually almost out of the kind of state foresty kind of trail system. And really, I was actually mostly sticking to the road itself. And yeah, it's kind of crazy that all that washed out, muddy craziness that you've seen is technically a road. So, one thing that is interesting about the shot when I rewatched it is obviously I'm, a little tired. I've been riding kind of fast and obviously got some blood pumping, but like, yeah, I'm really kind of grossly veiny. Like it's I mean, I am that person, and even I'm watching that like, ooh, that's a little disturbing. And to be honest with you, I'm not even sure why I turned the camera on for this like cool down session, but I'm glad I did because here it is. And now those gross veins on my head are becoming even more numerous. It really didn't take me all that long to kind of piece together where I had left it, because the last place I had it out was in that berm area. So I'm going to help move things along the best way I know how by a little bit of a montage.
Where do the wild geese go when they go away? Where do the wild geese go? Are all the babies of the envy? How do they know the way? 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 Where do the dark clouds go when they go away? Where do the dark clouds go? Where does the night go at the break of day? How can you love me so well? 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 Where does your wild heart go when it goes away? Where does your wild heart go? And does it travel all night with the wild geese, the white beaten soul, the white beaten soul, the white beaten soul, the white beaten soul? Where do the wild geese go when they go away? Where do the wild geese go? Do they travel all night? 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 Where do the wild geese go when they go away? Where do the wild geese go? Are all the babies up there in that field? How do they know the way? 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 Where do the wild geese go? Where do the wild geese go? Where do the wild geese go when they go away? Where do the wild geese go? Where do the wild geese go when they go away? Where do the wild geese go?
And back to narration. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Alright, rescue the phone. Now let's rescue our own asses and get the fuck out of here before the weather is a serious
I
problem.
think I'm being a little overdramatic about it, looking back on things.
Well,
But,
it's
you know,
probably
at the moment, it seems kind of like a thing. So anyways, when I finally got out of there, and I was feeling more comfortable, I had a snack. And yes, that's prepackaged bacon. And then I decided to be even more ballsy and found some single track to play on. So yeah, once again, I was just probably being overly dramatic for no real reason. That's it. That's pretty much the whole shooting match things. Which is kind of weird because it says I still have like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes left. I think really I just kind of explore this as a long shot. So I don't know. I might throw on get some background music. I don't know. I played around with it a little earlier, and I'm not the. I don't know. It just seems more distracting. We might not use that. I don't know. We'll find out. Keep on saying we. Going back to the whole talking to the camera thing is kind of odd because it's just me here. There's no we. I do all this myself. So again, thanks for watching. If you enjoy this this kind of weird content, please subscribe and like and all that YouTubey stuff. And I guess until next time, take care out there and enjoy the last bit of the footage.
We're gonna have lunch here. Woo, baby. So fun. So much fun. Woo!